A good day to you. Once again, we welcome you to our YouTube channel, Emanzi Business Marketing Agency. I hope you're well, staying safe, keeping yourselves away from COVID, washing your hands, sanitizing, because we still need each other. I thank our sponsors, Serena Hotels. We can't do this without you. We thank you for having faith in us and keeping us going. We also thank our subscribers, our viewers. We thank you for the responses we've had from the last episodes, and we're grateful that you're with us, and we know that we're doing something and making an impact. Well, today it's a bit different. We're not talking from offices, but we're where things are happening. We're at a farm visit in Busiika, a place called Kooko, owned by Peter and his wife, Peter Senkungu and his wife. And it's a beautiful place. It's nice to know that people are here making serious money. And we're going to hear from Peter. He's going to take us through his journey, poultry journey, how he started, what are the profits, the challenges, and how he's making it through. Tell us about your farm. And I saw right from the entrance, it's not like just entering anywhere else.
Yeah.
So please tell us about your farm and how you've managed to make it.
Peter Senkungu is my name. The farm is called PRIMIS Farms. We started this farm as a family business just to keep us going. But in this period, it has turned out to be something that we can rely on as a family.
Wow.
Because of whatever is happening in the country. Myself, I'm an animal scientist. I studied animal nutrition, so I knew about farming from school and even from home. We survived a lot on chicken.
What's animal nutrition?
Animal nutrition is the science of feeding animals. So back from home, I was in chicken farming. My mother used to raise chicken to pay our school fees, and she could involve us even before I started chicken farming. So I've known chicken for quite a long time. Even when I was in campus, I was one of the students who was keeping chicken in Kabanyoro to get pocket money. So I made my first money from chicken. Away from farming, I also engage in business of feeding chicken. We have another family company called Nutrinova. Nutrinova basically deals with nutrition, health, and profitability. So we help farmers make money out of chicken farming and other animals by feeding them right. We believe when you feed chicken right, you keep them healthy, they can produce profitably.
They make you money.
Yeah, so we do that business. And we also bring a lot of nutritional technologies for the farmers to still benefit out of their chicken and other livestock. So chicken farming in Uganda has taken a long way, and I'm glad to say I've been part of the journey on some of the farmers, and now I'm making a journey for myself and my family.
And your family.
Here in Busiika, we are strictly keeping layer birds and a few broilers for home consumption. You will see some of them in a small cage. We currently we do table eggs. Table eggs are eggs that are produced for eating in homes. There are other eggs produced for hatching, but here we concentrate on table eggs. Our journey started a long time ago in Kalaji. We had another farm we are renting. We started with the business of brooding chicken.
How many years ago?
Maybe 4 years ago, we used to brood chicken and sell the brooded birds at 8 weeks. So from there, we thought that we could raise the birds for business as a family and produce eggs for sale. So in Kalaji, we all started our first egg producing birds. We had around 1,200 birds. Right now, our plans by end of this year is to have a total of of around 45,000 birds. Yeah, that's our plan. But currently in production we have 8,500 birds, and we have growers which will be in production within 2 months, around 15,000 birds, which we are waiting for to go into production. For those who are viewing Emanzi and be watching this video, I want to tell you that the future is in agriculture. There's no doubt about that. And for a country like Uganda, the population is growing very fast. People still eat. Even amidst COVID, people are at home eating.
Still eating. Yes,
there are always challenges here and there, just like any other business. But the bigger part of the business is enjoy some. There's money. You keep touching money every day. At least there's money you can make every day. Birds keep laying, eggs are being bought. But I won't say that there are no challenges. There are challenges, there are losses, and I want to tell the viewers that it's not about only the good days. That chicken farming has the difficult days when you lose birds to diseases, you buy medication, birds die. Some people have told me before that they started a farm and all the chicken died. I'm like, it happens, it's part of the business. Just like when you buy a car and gets an accident. Just like you start a business and maybe something catastrophically happens and you lose it. In chicken it's there, but we always have to lift ourselves back and move. In a nutshell, that's what I have to introduce myself to you. But we are doing our best to ensure that we help other farmers, the farmers who are out there, through our different companies. PRIMIS FARM, we try to train farmers, not on the farm. We don't do trainings on the farm because of biosecurity. We have outlets where we can train farmers, though it's now very difficult because of COVID. We try to use digital means. We prepare digital meetings to train farmers over Zoom and the rest. But outside COVID, we arrange different trainings that we try to market. Maybe Emanzi will also help us more on this.
Yes.
So to ensure that the farmers do the right things. Chicken is about doing the right things because they don't talk. They're not just like they're not like human beings that you will serve them bad food and they will reject it. Chicken will eat, but they won't produce. So if you're dealing with something that doesn't talk, you have to do the right things. So you have to be with the right company that knows what to do and advises you on how to do it.
So Peter, I think we need to, because I've been a victim of a person who has lost birds. I tried poultry, I lost birds, and I kind of gave it a break, and I want to do it again because I lacked the knowledge. I really lacked the knowledge. And poultry is not a business. You don't just rush it through. These little birds are very sensitive. So how can you break it down for us? Like, okay, I want to start poultry. What is the recommended number that you think someone should have, especially if you have your little money, like your little capital, but you want to maintain your birds, let's say layers, and you don't want to struggle in between until they are laying their first eggs? What do you advise a beginner? How many birds do you start with? You're beginning, you've never done this before. I don't think you should start with 8,000, 5,000. What do you advise us? And how do you advise us to carry on this business? A beginner with your low cost, your little capital.
I think what is key is to understand your abilities. Where you can, you see, like chicken is just like any other investment, that if you invest, you should invest to a level where you have a turn back. Like if things don't go well, I can still resume again. So you don't give it the whole of yourself. Give it a shot. If it does well and you have mastered the game, you give it more. So in my view, from 500 birds and above is fair to start. It's ideal to start with. And then you keep learning.
How big should the structure be in the 500 birds?
That's very important because when we are dealing with chicken, there are certain important things that we have to look at. The genetics of the bird is very important. The management, of the bird is very important, and the nutrition is also very important. Those are key aspects.
Yeah.
So the environment involves the space where the birds are, the elevation, the orientation of the structure, the space the bird should be in. Like in layers, we do 7 birds per square meter.
7 birds per square meter.
So you need to build a structure which can give you that capacity. If we have, if we do a simple calculation, let me say if there are 7 birds per square meter, those who have maybe calculators can check. So if I have 500 birds, what will be the size of my house? How many square meters?
3,500.
So, yeah, probably that. You need to have that space.
Okay.
Because we have to allocate space for the feeders, the drinkers, and then the laying nests, as you'll see in some of our structures. If you're doing cages, it is quite different. So you just have to get space that can take up the cage.
The cage. But if they are rotational birds?
Yeah, we call them deep litter. Those which are on the ground.
Yeah.
So those use 7 birds a square meter. Then for cages, it will depend on how many birds you want to do. If there are 500, each cage takes 120 birds, like those that we said at Nutrinova. So you'll need like 4 cages for your 500. And we can give you the measurements and you know what kind of structure you need.
So when you're starting, what do you advise? You advise the deep litter or the cages?
No, the cages is the next level. You need to start on the ground, on deep litter, so you learn.
Yeah.
As you learn, you can improve. You keep improving. I believe in improvement, continuous improvement at every level.
So after you have set up your structure, how much land do you need for the whole to have a comfortable business?
It still depends. The bigger the land, the better, because there are other things you have to do around the land. And that's a very good question, Sandra, because you need to plan the farm.
Yeah.
Like here, like people who are in town, it might be a little difficult. But here, if I have 1 acre, it doesn't mean I'll put structures wherever I want. We need to sit down and plan that I'll put my gate here, the entrance will be here, my store will be here, my farmhouse will be here, my structures will be here, my workers will still sleep here. So you need to draft a plan so that you can, because these are permanent structures. You're not going to change them tomorrow.
Okay.
So planning is key. For whatever land you have, it's 1 acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, you need to plan it right.
And what are, because we've looked at the capacity of the birds, we've looked at the structure, but the cost of the structure, what do you think? Because I've seen people have, I've seen some people with structures that are like homes, like it can be a house, and others have simple structures and yet can still do the same business. Because you see, when someone is starting, they have their budgets, and they are looking at how can I get through these 6 months until they lay. So what cost? How much do you think that someone should spend on a structure that will take the 500 birds?
Now, structures are very, they keep evolving. If you're starting, I'll advise that you do a least cost structure. First of all, the things you need to look at is that the structure should be able to, the birds should be able to fit there, 7 birds per square meter. They should be able to get enough air. Ventilation should be good. That is key. And water should not be able to enter inside there. They should be vermin-proof, protect them from rats. So with that in mind, you can say, I'm going to do an open structure. I want to do bricks. Make sure that then rodents cannot easily enter, snakes cannot easily enter, the litter doesn't go out. So the cost will depend. Like if you'll see my structures, they're little improved structures, but they are not. I'm not saying that someone should start with that, because sometimes we always tell farmers that don't do something too expensive, because we are looking at having chicken, not having beautiful structures. It's not tourist. It's not a tourist site. We want the chicken to be comfortable. So we can do something that the least cost, provided it meets those requirements. The birds are comfortable, rodents are not entering, water is not entering, the sun is not entering. So that allows you to start. We want the birds to come in. We don't want to spend the money on the Gucci's of the house.
I know.
You want to spend on the chicken.
That's ladies
Yes.
of the houses. And now we have talked about the birds and the structure. That is perfect. Because I'm sure many of us think that, to start a structure, you need all this money. So you find people keep getting out on the way. So what other essentials must be on the farm?
The essentials, first of all, we must have a store where we keep the feeds.
Yeah. Should it be ventilated? Should it be?
Yeah, it can be. The ventilation is important. Yes, there should be some airflow because we want the temperatures to be not so high because we store their feed. We don't want our feed to cake.
Yeah.
The floor should be cemented for the store because of rats.
Oh, it should be cemented.
So the other important thing are farmhouses where people can sleep comfortably after working. That is very key. Fencing of the farm is very important for security purposes because we don't want to invest and then someone comes one day and takes our investment. So that is important. We need to safeguard. And also for biosecurity. What is this word biosecurity will always have to ring in our ears throughout this business because it's very critical. Biosecurity is preventing entry of disease in the farm. You saw when you came.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recorded whatever activity was done to you.
Yeah, we recorded.
Next time when you come, we are planning to put changing bathrooms outside the farm. You can bathe, change your clothes. Because human beings are the biggest carriers of disease in the farm. So we plan to have more improvement in our biosecurity. So you change your clothes, change your attire, maybe take a shower, then you come inside our farm.
You come inside.
Yes.
This is serious.
So biosecurity fencing is the start, then the rest follows. If you don't have a fence, everyone can access your farm, animals can access your farm, and those are the carriers of disease.
And what do you talk about water?
Water is also
how
key.
Crucial is water?
Just when I am training farmers, I always tell them that the biggest amount of substance that enters the farm are not even people, it's not feed, but it's water. It is the biggest compound we use at the highest level. Because if our bird eats 1 gram of food, it will take 2 grams of water. So water is clean, fresh water is very important. And I emphasize it has to be clean and fresh. If it's not one of the two, it becomes very difficult because it's just like you see it enters the farm in big volumes, it can also bring diseases in big volumes. So you have to be very careful.
So do you treat the water from the source or when?
Where necessary, we treat the water. Depends on how you get it. Here at PRIMIS Farm, we don't treat, but we acidify. Acidifying is putting organic food-grade acids in the water to lower the pH so that no microorganism can survive because we cannot test every day. So we safeguard. It's like insurance. We continuously safeguard our animals.
What do you use to acidify?
We use agroseed. It's an organic acid from Belgium.
So that is also vital that the pH must
You can use another molecule. I don't insist that agroseed is. You can use other acids, but it's important that there's something you're doing to the water.
Okay.
You pay attention to it.
Yeah, to it.
Yeah, you can't afford to miss it.
Okay, now that's a lesson learned. You don't just give it water. You don't just
No. You need to understand which water you give. Just like us, if I go to buy water, I will ensure I buy a certain brand or ensure I boil it at home. So I give attention. I don't just drink any water I find. Yeah.
That is right. So now the structures are done. The 500 birds have come in. Everything is in place. Now let's go to feeds. Let's go to brooding first. Is it brooding?
Brooding.
Yeah, brooding.
They are coming to the farm. The young chicks, they're old.
How do we prepare for them?
Good. I'll give you some photos of brooders that we prepared that farmers can look at. When the birds are young, we can go up to 10 to 12 birds per square meter. There are more. We put them together. The essence of brooding, technically, is to ensure that what the birds cannot get from their mother, just like mothers take care of their children, they wrap them, they give them warmth and feed them, we try to mimic and reproduce that in the brooder. So we ensure that we reduce the space, give them beddings like litter where to insulate them from heat loss. We provide them light day and night so that they can eat as much as possible to grow out from that stage, put on feathers and give themselves warmth. We provide heat because they don't have enough feathers to insulate their bodies from heat loss. So the essence of creating a brooder is to reproduce because the mother of these chicks is not there. So we are now the parents. So we try to give them those services, clean water, some vitamins are added in the water then to boost them to grow. The feed, we mix starter feed or what they call chicken duck. It's more concentrated, more protein, more vitamins and minerals. And we give it at free will. In nutrition, we call it ad libitum. Every time the feed is there for them to eat as much as possible.
So what's the expected amount of feed that you spend on the brooding?
It depends on the breed that you have, and those we can give the farmers guidelines. For every breed, there is a guideline we give you that this chick, like for the first 2 weeks, a bird will eat 120 grams. Each chick. Yeah, usually Isa brown. So 120 grams is enough for them for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Then afterward, they keep increasing.
How long are they in the brooder?
Usually they can be in the brooder for, if they're layers, they can be there for maybe 5 to 7. 5 weeks is enough. You can get out of the brooder gradually. For broilers, we can do 2 weeks. The brooder is getting...
Is enough.
Yeah, it's enough because they put on feathers very fast. Fat deposition is faster for heat insulation. Yeah.
Okay, now the brooder, what else is in the brooder? What do you use to provide the heat?
There are different heat sources that we can make. I encourage farmers to innovate. You can buy gas burners. You can use charcoal.
I tried pots.
You can do pots. You can do metallic sigiris. Here what we use, we've invented the use of Kajansi bricks. We construct them. Then put the charcoal inside and make like bioto. Put the charcoal there. They kind of conserve the heat much.
How do you know that the chicks are having enough heat?
We have that's a good question. We have to install thermometers. And we guide the farmers when we give them chicks that at this week the temperature should be this. Then you keep reducing. And also depending on the ambient temperature. Ambient like within the area. If it's raining, might have to increase the temperature because there's a lot of loss because it's cold outside.
It's cold outside.
If it's hot outside, you might not have to put the temperature so high because there's a lot of heat coming from the sun.
Yeah.
So it depends.
And then the lights, how do you go about lights? Because I saw most of the houses have light.
Yeah. Light is important.
In the brooding, especially in that stage.
Light is important, but there are a lot of improvements in lighting. We have now chicken lightings because the capacity of the bulb, the strength of the light is critical.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to stimulate. If you use ordinary bulbs without taking care of how the size of the bulbs, you might stimulate the birds early enough, which can cause problems.
So they become pregnant maturely. I mean, they start laying.
They won't start laying maturely, but you don't want to stimulate them early enough. You want the reproductive system to grow gradually, and light is one of the stimulants of this reproductive system. Yes. And even in laying phase, you'll see we have light because naturally here we have light for close to 10 hours a day, but the birds, if they're laying, they need around 12 to 13 hours of light.
What's the most, I would imagine there should be a cost-effective lighting process, not like umeme, what do you use on the farm? On the farm,
umeme is still the cheapest. Solar works, but the good solar is expensive to install. So as I said, for us, in the beginning, it's
You're
about...
using umeme?
Yeah, I'm using umeme. If it's not there, I have a standby generator. If it's not there, I have some solar lights. But umeme for us
what
is
about
this
solar lights? I've seen some solar panels with solar lights. Like, You don't have to dig and install. Is that enough?
Yeah, it can work, but you see, solar is also has limitations.
Yeah.
Like now it's cloudy.
Yeah.
You might not have enough charge.
Yeah.
So you have a backup. You have you need to have like 2 backups. One might fail and chicks will die in numbers if you're in brooder phase. If light goes off instantly, they'll crowd together and suffocate. So you need alternatives.
Oh, okay. Our chicks are now okay with the structures. They're okay with the feeding. Now I just wanted us to go through after the 7 weeks. What happens after the 7 weeks?
Okay, we might not go to 7 weeks. We might stop at 5 weeks in the brooder. So we keep expanding the brooder as we manage the temperature. So we go into another phase called the grower phase. It's a slightly simpler phase where we look at parameters like weight. We measure growth in layers by the weight. We change the feed to grower feed, which is less in protein, less in vitamins, and it's a longer period for the growing stage. It goes to up to 4 months, maybe 3.5. Then we start another phase called the pre-lay phase, where we expect the first egg. So this is less hectic, because in the brooder maybe you're sleeping there. There's a lot of heat, feeding. So this is a much simpler stage. Then from the grower stage, you go to the pre-lay and then the laying phase where you start minting some money. Now
in growers, what is the expected amount of feed in the growers? And how do you endeavor not to spend so much on the feeds? How do you look out for your costs for the feeds? Because I know in growers, they are getting so active with food.
Yes, the only way to save on feed is to reduce wastage. And if you can, to buy materials in time, like maize when it is in season, maize brand. But nutritively and cost-wise, I don't want people to look a lot on saving on the feed, because what happens in my time I've spent in the industry is that farmers try to compromise on the food, on the quality, and the quantity, because they want to save money. This is not the time to save money.
This is the time to feed them.
To give the right nutrients to the birds so that they grow.
They give you back.
Yeah, they give you back. So when we are talking about feed and cost, we say cost efficient feed. The feed that has the right nutrients, but it's at not cheap, but
lower cost.
Affordable. Should be affordable for you. Try to make it affordable. And which one is that? It depends on the season. Like now, grower feed that is very well balanced could be around 1,850 in that range at the current cost of maize and maize brand. And, if you want
to mix it locally, what are the nutrients? Because I've seen some people use the small fish,
the mukene.
What concentrates do you?
Now, for us, we use Intraco concentrates that come from Belgium.
Oh, they come from Belgium.
So when they come here, we mix in maize brand.
Do you think they are affordable?
They are affordable.
Like
the alternative
for the starter, who is?
Yeah, they are more. You see, you can plan with them because the challenge is that the other materials like mokene, soya, the quality on the market is not good. It keeps changing, which beats you.
Yeah.
So yes, if you use the mokene, you maybe have feed at 700. But again, what you're giving the birds, you're giving a lot of sand, a lot of diseases, a lot of bacteria is coming with it. So most of the farmers have had relief from this
because it's already tested and tried, and
they are now using concentrates. Yeah, and they have done well. You can plan because you can know that I will receive concentrate at this price. The quality won't change. My birds won't fall sick. I can have it.
What are usually in these concentrates?
Good question. Most of the concentrates come with the protein, the vitamins, the amino acids, all balanced together.
Are they organic or?
Organic. I'm not sure what you mean by organic.
No, there's some
GMO.
Yeah.
No.
GMO.
I don't know. I really don't know. But what I know, they meet the nutritional requirement of the birds, and we can get returns.
I think I'm trying to say, are they healthy?
They are healthy because they have made farming much better than before.
Yeah. And they are trusted. Their sources are trusted.
Yes, they are more trusted. We've been with them for the last 2 years now.
Because some people would be like, oh, maize brand, I know this is maize, that is fish. Let me mix my maize and fish. So you find a buyer is very comfortable knowing that this is a healthy bird. It's not pumped. There are no chemicals pumped into it, and they're very healthy.
Yeah, the concentrates are very healthy because most of them, the good ones, come from Europe, and these are very regulated markets. So they can't do something, but they come with health certificates approved by World Health Organization.
Okay. And our standards here as well.
Yeah, definitely. In the past, we used to mix with fish, soya, but the challenge are Ugandan traders. Today they will give you sand, tomorrow they give you another thing. They cheat you. So the farmer was paying a big price. We were enriching the dealers of Mukene and the rest. So, and yet we are running out of business.
That's critical also.
Very critical to put attention there.
So now we've gone to pre-laying. We are still with our 500 birds. What are the expectations when you're at pre-laying? Because there you're warming up to. You're seeing money somewhere now.
Yeah,
you start smelling.
In the pre-laying, you'll start getting some eggs, at least a few eggs.
What is the normal for that period for 500 eggs?
The normal what?
The normal production rate. Like when do you know that?
Okay, so we calculate production in percentages.
Okay.
So I wanted to calculate for 500 birds. If they start laying to reach peak production, it can take maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Then they reach the peak. Egg production goes in cycles. So the calf starts going up, then it reaches maximum, then it doesn't drop sharply, then the calf will start dropping.
Reducing regularly.
So 500 birds, if we can have them laying at the normal here, we pick at 94%. So we have 500 birds. If we picked at 94%, that's around 15 trays per day.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's not bad.
And we can make around, like now, currently we can make around 1,700 per tray of eggs.
In a day?
Yep. So if you have 15 trays, that time was 15 times 1,700. That's around 25,500. This is net profit.
That is net profit.
Net profit. That's our average.
How much money is that?
25,500 per day. This is after taking off cost of feed, water, or labor.
I'm saying, you have 1,700 trays.
No, I said 15 trays per day.
Okay, 15 trays per day.
And you make 1,700 shillings per tray of eggs. That's the profit, net
tray.
profit per tray.
Okay, for profit.
So around 25,000, and in a month, that's around 765,000.
From 500. So you can imagine 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Yes. And as the number grows, the profit increases because the economies of scale. If it's one person feeding 500 birds, the same person can feed 2,500.
Wow.
Yeah. One house, one person. Up to around 2,500, one person can manage.
How many workers do you think 500 chicken need?
500. One person.
One person. One person is enough.
Is enough.
Yeah, because these are the mistakes that we make, because at the end of the day, you are in business. You're not chilling. You're not doing something for entertainment or for passion. You're in business. So you need also to look at that one worker, 500 chicken.
Yes.
So if you have 2,000, you need...
But when you're starting,
the ratio?
Even if it's a business, something unique about chicken, you must get the passion. If you're starting, because if you put money first for everything, some decisions won't be taken.
They won't be taken.
So the passion must be there. You should love chicken. You should love animals.
And I think there should also be consistent monitoring.
Yes.
You have to be there.
You have to be on the job, because if it's not today is a Sunday, I'll be with my babies at home, but I'm on the farm because it's a job. You need to be around. You cannot do it on the phone. Telephone farming, is what has caused problems for most of the working class. My advice would be start when you're still working. When you think the things are progressing, quit your job and go into farming.
Talk about
if it's possible. I've seen so many
workers.
friends quitting.
No, most people are now. We are facing problems of when you realize that you're non-essential. You start seeing yourself like, I need to find a way out.
Yeah, we are lucky that poultry will ever be essential.
Yeah.
Food.
No, anything to do with food has, food and these little supplies and retailers and all those people have been working throughout. They are the most essential.
Yeah.
And yet when people see you coming to your farm, Peter, they don't know that for you, you know where the gold is.
Yes.
We are seated in offices wearing suits and holding Gucci purses, but what's the future? So now we have come to our growers. What happens when you feel
you are pre-lay, then we have gone to laying.
Laying now.
We are starting to get eggs. We can get eggs up to 1.5 years.
By the same bird.
By the same birds.
Wow.
So you can have these birds on your farm for 1 year and 9 months.
So in those 1.5, are they still going up or they are still going down?
Okay, good question. They can go up. We said within 3 weeks they can go up to the peak. They can stay at peak for maybe a month. Depends on the management, feeding, everything. Then even if they start dropping, they are dropping profitably. It will depend on the season of the year and the market. Like right now, even if you have birds at 70%, you're okay. They can buy feed and also save something for you. But in the bad days, it should be 80 for you to make money.
80.
But now, as I talk, because the season is very good, even
it was bad before. Now it's good.
It's good.
We were seeing you guys crying with your birds, but now
every business is like that.
Yeah.
In our business, there are always those bad days. Sometimes you can get maize going so expensive, and then many people go out of the business. Then when maize is, because you see the cycle of layers is 4 months to start production. But we've never had a challenge which goes beyond 4 months. If it is maize, it cannot be so expensive for more than 4 months. If it is the eggs becoming too much oversupply, it cannot be 4 months of oversupply. So we get 2 months of challenges, then people quit the industry. And then those who stay, they reap. Because now, like as I talk, we had issues.
Persistence is really important.
Exactly. Perseverance is everything.
What issues did you have?
COVID, eggs were not going across the border.
How did you manage
People didn't have money. We had to look at the savings and sustain the business.
What were you doing with your eggs? You were still
we are hawking them. Take them to people's household, help buy, give out dates.
Oh, we enjoyed eggs.
But now they are the ones coming to us.
Now they are back to you.
Yes, they are coming to us.
Whoever didn't eat eggs during COVID. Oh my God.
It happens.
Yeah. So now they are laying, and when do you know that they are laying well? When do you know that the 500 birds in layers in that period are doing well? How many
They're
trays?
making money.
How many
We
trays?
said 15 trays.
Oh, those are the 15.
Yeah, so they can drop to maybe 12. That's still okay. So as I said, we measure it in percentages. If they are doing anything above, right now, anything above 70 is okay. 70% of your flock.
Yeah.
But you need to manage feed wastage. You need to manage biosecurity. One of the biggest challenges with the farmers now is that the birds will perform at 80%, but your input cost is very high because you don't prevent diseases. You're spending a lot of money on antibiotics. You have a lot of thieves on the farm. They are stealing your feed. They are stealing your eggs. So the birds are doing their job, but you are not doing your job.
You're not doing your job.
Yes.
So that takes us back that you need to be present.
Yeah, you need to be present. You need to be in touch. You need to know what's going on at every point. You need to be in control of your feed, your market. Like here, I'm the only one who sells eggs. I'm the only one who purchases the feed. So I'm in touch. I know whatever is happening where.
You audit yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. When you keep
myself.
giving it out, then you're just risking. So now, what happens when after the 1.5 years you off-lay?
That's bonus money. Just bonus money waiting for you. At right now, there are no off-layers. The off-layers are 14,000. So you can maybe build a new house with that bonus money, start something new, bring new flocks.
When do you bring in the new flocks? When is it advisable? Because you don't want to reach after the 2 years and you lay off and then you sit.
Good question, because you don't want your farmers to come and ask for eggs when you don't have. Your clients will run away. So when the birds lay for more than 6 months, it's better you start a new flock. So you should always have a brooder house.
So as they're
6
going
months,
up, others are coming in.
Yeah, others are coming in. So if they have laid for 6 months, and you bring a new flock, after 4 months, the old flock will be 1 year. These ones will start production. As these ones are still giving you some money to feed these ones, as these ones peak,
the money comes.
You can even off-lay the other ones. Yeah, so
because the money you're making
synchronize.
off these other ones from the trays come to feed these other
Exactly.
ones. So at the end of the day, you're not pulling resources still.
Yes.
Are there times where you've had to go to the banks to borrow money for your farm?
Yes, there's a lot of money for farmers in the banks. Definitely, like when we are to buy maize, like here we can buy around 200 to 500 tons of maize when it's in season. So we go to the bank, get some overdraft, help ourselves to.
So what? Now feeding. There's something I left behind. The ratio of the concentrates to the maize and.
Yeah, that's what I do as a nutritionist. So when the farmers come to us, we advise them, at this stage you do this, at this stage you do this, this you do that. So we advise them on the ratios to use.
Actually, I think it's very necessary to keep consulting.
Even as we consult, even me I consult. You cannot know everything.
Yeah, because you end up spending so much and yet it's not necessary. You could have done it a better way and still get your profits back.
Yes.
So now we have off-laid them. Now we are making money. Money is coming in. Now we are going back to the challenges. I've heard you talk about biosecurity. Biosecurity. The diseases. Let's talk about from the brooders, the stages. What diseases do you need to fight throughout the stages? Now,
after off-laying, you clean the house, disinfect it, prepare it for the new flock.
So before even you start, you have to disinfect the house.
Yes, you have to clean and disinfect. Cleaning and disinfection go hand in hand. You can't disinfect that. That's what we do. We talk about hygiene. You have to you have to soak your cloth, then wash it, then rinse it. So just like when I'm cleaning a house, remove the litter, the birds are out, remove the litter, sweep it, clean it, let it dry. When it's clean, then disinfect it, then let it dry, then put in the birds.
How long does this go for? What is
cleaning?
the ideal period for disinfection?
I think
do you disinfect
a week
today and then tomorrow they come in?
A week before putting in the birds is good enough.
It's very ideal.
It's very ideal.
So the diseases that these birds keep getting and the vaccinations, how do you make sure that these birds are vaccinated right on time by the right people? You
must have a team. You need to have a team that is in charge of vaccination.
Yeah.
They do their program and you share with them when. Put reminders that this day we have to vaccinate, know where they get the vaccine, how much it costs, and vaccination needs to be done early. So you must have a team that is working on the vaccination and disease prevention. The common diseases now in poultry is Newcastle, which is a vaccinatable disease.
So once you vaccinate the Newcastle, you shouldn't be.
If you vaccinate right and
on time.
Then you need to keep away any other disease-causing agents which will impact the immunity and maybe cause birds to get sick. Because if there's a lot of exposure of these birds to bacteria, then the immunity is compromised, and if any infection comes like Newcastle, it can easily hit them. We have coccidiosis, which is also a very big challenge, especially for birds with poor immunity. They get hit with coccidiosis a lot. The other common ones for layers is E. coli and Salmonella, which is sometimes through the water. If you don't treat the water, if you don't treat the feed, we also treat the feed. because as you buy maize bran, you buy maize, post-harvest handling in Uganda is the poorest. There's a lot of exposure. I find people putting the maize on the ground to dry it, then animals put their droppings in there.
So you have to treat the maize.
It's good you treat the maize as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's very important. I get it. So, is it better to buy your own medicine, the vaccinations?
It's better you buy your vaccine. Yeah, you go to the importers of vaccines. They are known importers. You buy yourself. Don't allow the doctor to buy. It's better you buy. Maybe if the doctor is in-house. Like here we have an in-house vet. I know I can do it, but I'm better off giving the responsibility to someone. Then I just follow them up because I have another job I do. Yeah. Oh,
chicken. I think. So what other challenges do you face during this?
The biggest challenge is in poultry is being naive. Not having the knowledge of what to do is the biggest challenge. If you know what to do, there are no challenges in poultry. The diseases you can avoid, you can treat if you get an outbreak. The feed, if you mix the right feed, the birds will perform well. But if you don't know, then you're joking. You're joking with your money.
Being a victim of not knowing, but
I call it the biggest challenge, not knowing what to do.
But even I think for farmers, getaway farmers, those who do farming not from home but from within a distance, you talked about the farmhouse. It's very important to have a place where you can, especially during the brooding period. From experience, I realized that you need to be there during brooding.
Yeah.
And you can't keep driving out of town, coming back, driving out of town. So when you have a small structure where you can just put a mattress or a bed and you need
a farmhouse.
Yeah, you need a farmhouse. Yeah, you're better off than, besides all the fuel you're using up and down and the costs, you'd rather be on the farm.
Yeah.
What else do you want to tell our viewers about poultry, the benefits? What have you done with the benefits, reinvestment?
No, that's a good one. What I want to tell farmers, first of all the people that are watching this recording, is that with farming you can't go wrong. Recently the president said he didn't know that there is even a rich man who doesn't have animals. He didn't know, and I agree with him. I don't know how you can be rich when you can't feed people. One of the most essential things is feeding people. They need food, and if you invest in farming, chicken, cows, you can't go wrong. There will always be need for food. And the population is growing. Today maybe the world is 6, I don't know how many billions. But after maybe 5 years, we could be in 10 billions and above if you are not already there. So there will always be stomachs to feed.
They still need food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we've done with the benefits, we are still investing in the farm. Because we've not attained our target.
Yeah, you still need.
So there isn't money we pushed out. We are still putting in money. But we are proud and sure that we are making progress.
You just said that you've put up other structures.
Yes.
And on 3 acres.
Yes, and we plan to have a capacity of 45,000 by end of this year.
And then that's when you start?
No, we have another target for next year. Yes.
So what is your target like in overall?
Around 100,000 birds.
Wow.
There we shall take a rest and then say let's taking out money and
let's go to Bahamas for holidays.
Maybe for a holiday somewhere.
Peter, thank you so much for this enlightenment. I think we've learned a lot from this episode, from this interview, because we've always had this perception that things are so tough. You can't do it. But it's very good to hear that someone just started humbly and they're here and you're where we are. Because I've known you for a while and I've seen your life change so much. And it's also important to carry family with you.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want to be alone and then you start helping others behind. You should be with them when you're growing up. Thank you so much. We've learned so much. And I'm going back to farming chicken. I've got the guts to go back.
Yeah.
I've been telling you about that I need, I fell once. It was so hard, but now I realize that I made mistakes. I really made mistakes, and this time I'm going to have it right.
Yeah.
I'll not look back.
Then you'll enjoy it.
There's another friend of mine who does chicken. She's called Molly. She's only inspired me to doing chicken, to doing poultry farming, and I also saw it transform her life. But I think I wasn't ready, but now I'm ready. I'm going to do it. And I know many people out there have also been really inspired. Those who also still have Q&A for Peter, we are going to find a way in which we can communicate, and Peter is available. Through Emanzi, Peter is available. You let us know when you need him. Now we're going to have a farm tour.
Yeah.
Looking forward. So, this is the cage system you're talking about. How many? What's the capacity? Is it one full cage?
No, we keep joining them. So from here, from one leg to another is one cage. So this one section takes 120 bags.
120.
120.
Here and there.
160. If you put 4 bags here, it will take 160. If you put 3, it will take 120.
Why are they 3 for now? What?
It's comfort.
What determines? The comforts where they can move.
If you put 4, they are less comfortable. It compromises welfare. So we add 120 until the end of the house. So this row has around 18 cages.
18?
If you know something, yeah. So 18 times 120, that's how much is on this row. So we put another row, depending on how big the house is.
So just this cage alone takes 120, this side and that side?
This side and the other side.
Okay. Yes. So you just measure, how do you measure the feed? How do you pour the feed?
Now, what is key, you need to know how many bags are here on this line. So we measure feed depending on the truck. So if there are 100 bags here, in a day we have to put 120 grams. Everybody eats 115 grams. So if there are 100, that is 1.15 kilos per day for this truck.
For the whole truck?
A number of bags.
Okay.
So if they're in production, they eat a specific amount of grams.
So it's mandatory to have a weighing scale?
Mandatory, it's a must.
And the eggs, these eggs are, how often do you pick the eggs?
You pick eggs once. In cages, you can pick eggs once. Because they roll down here and wait for you to pick the eggs. Actually, in cages, if you are not at home, you can close your house, put in the feed, the water, they drink from these nipples.
Where is the water from? Where do you pour it?
It's from the tank. It comes direct. They clamp it and it comes.
Also, this is a pipe. Oh, this is a pipe. Does the cage come with this?
Yes, it comes with it.
Okay.
It comes with everything.
It's amazing how they know where to get the water.
Yeah, it's the color of the nipple, red.
Also, the nipple, it has to be red. Okay. And what about cleaning? How often?
One of the biggest challenges that I'll tell farmers is the litter in cages. You have to, a lot of work, keep removing the litter. Yeah, we remove it every 3 days.
But they are safe though?
Yeah, they are very safe. They are here to produce eggs, nothing else. Eat, drink and
produce. Oh my God. There's so many. Oh my God. So
we import these cages.
That's what I was about to say. What's the source?
It's China, from Europe. Depends on the class. We keep improving.
You import them. Is it cheaper to import or?
It's the quality.
The quality. And the birds, where do you get the birds from?
We also import the birds.
From where?
From Belgium.
From Belgium? Yeah. So if someone wants birds, how do they?
We can import for them.
As PRIMIS farms?
Yes, as PRIMIS farms.
They put in an order?
They put in an order.
How early do they have to book?
A month in advance.
So they take a month to arrive?
Yes. Once we make the booking, they set the eggs. After 21 days, they can ship the birds.
So as PRIMIS farms, what is your involvement in my farm from the word I want to do poultry?
We get involved at most of the avenues. Maybe not in the marketing, but in the inputs in the farm. We
You give me the birds then?
As Nutrinova, not PRIMIS, we have another entity.
Okay, Nutrinova.
Will give you the birds, give you the feed, can give you the medication, then you handle the marketing.
And you can monitor my farm?
We have vets that monitor farms.
You can give me a vet as well?
We have a vet department that does extension.
How often do you visit my farm?
Depends. We don't have to visit all the time. If there's a challenge, we visit, but if there's no challenge, we can design a timetable. Like maybe once in a week, we check on what is happening in the farm.
Are those all extra costs or they come with that?
Depends. If you're using our services, we don't charge you that. It's a package.
It's a package. Wow, that's good to know. So you give me the birds and you make sure you monitor them.
One of our slogan is nutrition, health, profitability. We want to manage for you, with you, not for you, but with you, to ensure that you make profit.
Fantastic. What's that net for?
The net is to shield light. If there's too much light, the birds on this side.
Can we have a look at that net? Can you?
So we put this net to shield a lot of light. The orientation of this
is that a fishing net?
It's a construction net.
A construction net. Yeah.
So it reduces the amount of light that can.
And it's constantly there.
Yes, it's permanently there. Because there was a problem with this structure. The orientation should have been different for the sun to go indirectly.
Because how different is it from that one? Is that because of the matoke there?
Yeah, because of the vegetation there.
The vegetation, okay.
Affected.
And what's that yellow?
It's a fly trap. This is done by Nutrinova for reducing the amount of flies. If we didn't have this, you'd see so many flies around. So a fly management technique that we use. So
how do you manage the record keeping?
No, we have a manager who has records. In charge of the books. She's in charge.
Oh, the other lady we saw. Okay, and
she's the one in charge.
Do you bring auditors once in a while?
Yeah, we have auditors that come every week to look at the books.
Because the farm is so big, you need to keep track of
the books.
Of the books.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Peter. We're done with the tour. As you can see, I still have the babies in the background. Peter has taken us around. He has such a huge farm. He's minting money, and we know we can do it. It's not so hard. It just takes the will, and it takes the budget. We need to plan, of course, we need to budget. Thank you for viewing our channel today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us. We thank our sponsors, Serena Hotels. Thank you for having faith in us. We can't forget you. We're grateful for that. Keep safe, take care of yourselves, and please, those who still need Peter, let us know. Emanzi will take care of that. We can have more sessions, more training sessions. Any Q&A for Peter, Emanzi will take care of that. Otherwise, God bless you and take care. Bye.